Yep.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Hafiza Hira Shahadat, and I am the member of Pakistan Defense Civilization. How are you all? I hope you all are well, and I will pray Allah will save from coronavirus. Okay. And with me are the members of our society. Session Chair Hafiz Sattar, Chairman Founder, PD Civilization. Co-host Muhammad Zubair, President PD Civilization. Moderator Asadullah Kamar, Director Islamabad. Zain Sattar, Vice President PD Civilization. Bilal Anjum, Director Foreign Affairs. Saqib Ejaz Bhatti, Director Defense Civilization. Welcome you all on the behalf of Pakistan Defense Civilization. Pakistan Defense Civilization is an youth organization that is containing volunteers and patriotism of Pakistan. It is non-political and non-profitable organization. Our motives: defend ideology Islamic Republic of Pakistan, to defend Aqidah Khatme Nabuwat Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, to raise voice for Kashmir and politism, to play a positive role for Muslim Ummah, to spread the message of love, peace, and harmony. Today's topic is security and defense analysis of Pakistan counter anti-state agenda. Okay. First of all, we warmly welcome to our honorable guest. This is a privilege for me to welcome such heroes because due to their presence and their sacrifices, we are living a peaceful life in their country, in this country. ऐ मेरे वतन मेरी अर्ज़े पाक, ऐ मेरे वतन मेरी अर्ज़े पाक, मेरे चेहरे पे जो ये जोश उजाला है, मेरे चेहरे पे जो ये जोश उजाला है, इस चांद सितारे के परचम का हवाला है, इस चांद सितारे के परचम का हवाला है. Please welcome Major Adil, retired defense security analyst, international border management. Sir, we all welcome you from the bottom of our heart. Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Walaikum assalam ji. Thank you for the invitation.
Welcome, sir.
Thank you so very much. So I would like to open and I would like to give my opening statement alongside. I'll speak on the topic for a few minutes, and then the house would be open for questions if anybody wants to ask a question, or if anybody wants to join us from the live broadcast. And if there are questions, I'm sure the moderators are looking at it, and if there is some valid question, I would really like to answer it. Surely I would like to answer it. Okay. So, today I would like to start off with the background of the geopolitics in the region. You see, Pakistan has always been a pivotal state in making, shaping, breaking of superpowers. If anybody has read history, you see, he or she would most definitely know that Pakistan has been at the center stage. Pakistan has been at the center stage of this global power game. So, with this brief premise, I'll give you a background. You see, whensoever global power dynamics have changed in the world, a world war was the reason for that particular change. At the end of First World War, kya hua? That the Ottoman Empire, it disintegrated, and the global power dynamics, the world order, went to a multipolar world. Before that, Ottoman Empire was, the most one of the most powerful empire in the world. So First World War caused the world to go to a multipolar world order. Now, once the Second World War happens, what happened then? The world from a multipolar world order went to a bipolar world order. USA and the USSR became the global players, became the superpowers. So we went to a bipolar world order. Now, then after Second World War, what happened? It was the Cold War, and Pakistan was the frontline state in the Cold War. You see, now once we came towards the Cold War, because of the lethality of weapons and because of the introduction of the nuclear weapons in particular, the damage which would be caused by the war was simply beyond beyond acceptance by anyone, by all the stakeholders. So an all-out war is no more possible in this nuclear regime, because an all-out war means mutually assured destruction, and nobody wants that. So that's why Cold War took place. And we also know it's a history that because of Pakistan, of course, with the direct support of USA, the USSR disintegrated and the bipolar world order went to become unipolar world order, with the USSR disintegrated and USA remaining as the only superpower in the unipolar world order. Now, it was in the 1980, mind you, 44 decades have passed. Now we see China rising up. Chinese practically own the USA. We are talking financially. The US dollar is global reserve currency. Why? It is because of the United States military strength. If not for the military might of the US, the US dollar as the global reserve currency would cease to exist. Now, our Chinese friends are also taking strides, and world is no more a unipolar world. It has gone back to regional alliances based multipolarity. But still, US does retain the sole superpower status. Now, our Chinese friends, you see, they want to gain more time. They want more time to be powerful enough to take upon the US and its allies. But the Americans also know that the Chinese are buying time, and they are not in a mood to give them time. So that really make the things very interesting, you see. So the era we are living in, it is the fifth and sixth generation hybrid warfare era. You cannot go out for an all-out open war because of the lethality of the weapons, because you're living in a nuclear neighborhood, a nuclear armed scenario, and a war, all-out war, open war means MAD, mad, that is mutually assured destruction. Nobody wants that. So hybrid war goes on. Proxy wars are fought, in which there is always a plausible deniability, like India is funding TTP, India is funding insurgency in Balochistan through Afghanistan. And before this, they were doing it through Iran. And Kulbhushan Jadhav is a proof of that. His statements are a proof of that. So at the same time, the most important aspect of this hybrid war is, at the face of it, this media warfare going on. The war of narratives and counter narratives and narratives. That is what we are fighting right now. And that is where Indians, because of their 7 times larger population and their English speaking mouthpiece power in the world, they've got a lead in this war. But now, you see, we have never been serious in fighting them back before this. I mean, we've been countering them, but we have not gone on an offensive. But in this kind of warfare, we will have to go on an offensive. In this background, this is what I've talked about, was the background. In this background now, you see the Sino-Pak partnership and friendship. Let's go over there. You see, my next article is going to be the transition of Sino-Pak partnership from partnership to an alliance. We are friends of Chinese. We are partners with the Chinese. But we are not an alliance, mind you. An alliance means if China is under attack, we'll go to defend them. Or if we are under attack, they'll come to defend us. So far we are not in alliance, but yes, we are friends, we are partners. Actually, before this, our Chinese friends, they wanted to gain time to face the world, as I've already discussed it. But you see, the Americans also know that Chinese are buying time, so they're not in the mood to give them time. The Pentagon wants war. Pentagon wants blood. That's why they made this alliance of the Quad, and they can break the Malaccan Straits at any time. And if they break the Malaccan Straits, it means that the Chinese trade to the world would be cut. And the only way out for China would be either through the land route of Russia, which is not fully developed. And mind you, Russians are partners with the Chinese, not an alliance. So the only feasible way out for them is China Pakistan economic corridor to connect them to the world. So having said that, at the same time, President Trump, for the first time, there is establishments everywhere. Let's be honest with each other. There are establishment in Pakistan. There is an establishment in India. There is an establishment in the US. There is no country in the world without an establishment. The US establishment is made of the Pentagon, State Department, and the White House. So for the first time in history of the US, White House of Trump is not a part of the US establishment. A couple of weeks ago, the US President Trump came out open on his generals and they said that they want war. They want war to run this military industrial complex which funds them. So if Joe Biden wins the upcoming elections in next month, you see the Pentagon will have their way and they will attack China. Even if they don't attack China directly, they will for sure block the Malaccan Straits. So it's just, a few months away. So you see, there is a very real possibility, and the tone of the Chinese friends have also changed. The tone has changed in the fact that previously they used to tell us that, okay, you should have relationship with the Americans, with the West, but at the same time keep relations with us and do not go on front foot, all right? Do not go towards a confrontation. But what happened? What is the change? The change is this scenario which I am telling you about. The Americans also know that they want to gain time. So now the Chinese are in a mood to offer us an alliance. And our Prime Minister Imran Khan has already said that our financial future belongs with the Chinese. So there is no point in way that we will be saying no to the Chinese alliance. And by signing that alliance, there will be, by becoming part of that alliance, there will be geostrategic importance. You see, Pakistan, as I said earlier, is a pivotal state in this great game of global power dynamics. Always have been, always will be. So we can be the bridge between China and the world. I'm talking about future decades. We're talking about much ahead. But what's upon us right now is that our enemies think that if they don't stop this Chinese one belt, one road initiative, which has got China Pakistan Economic Corridor, CPEC, as its flagship, if they're unable to stop it by the end of 2021, mind you, so it will become irreversible. This is coming directly from the horse's mouth. These are the official communication at New Delhi, in between Tel Aviv and Washington. Our enemies are eyeing for the CPAC, and they are going to. They've already launched an attack against us. The Indian RAW, in association with the NDS, that is the Kabul government's intelligence, they have launched terrorists from Afghanistan targeting us. But mind you, we have already fought this war. We have written a textbook of counterinsurgency. The world recognizes it. That's why our officers go around the world teaching them counterinsurgency. So we will win it again. No worries there. But mind you, the intensity, as you must have noticed in recent days, have increased. Our casualties are increasing. A son a day is the cost. A son a day of the Pakistan army is the cost Pakistan army pays for the freedom of Pakistan, mind you. And we'll continue doing that. There are people say that it's the politics of dying to serve and stuff, like that. But you see, it is the passion and this punishment taking ability of Pakistan, what I call it, is something which they never calculated, and they can never gauge our enemies, and that is why they will always fail. So 2021 जो है ये बहुत important year है. और इसके अलावा our enemies in India, they are going to launch an hybrid warfare offensive starting March 2021. Mind you, that is where you guys, the youth of Pakistan, comes in. They are going to launch an offensive in March 2021, an year-long hybrid war, media warfare launch कर रहे हैं वो, which will be a complete year till March 2022. They'll link it with the completion of the 50 years of the Dhaka fall, Sapute Dhaka ke saath, and they want to target Pakistan Army. And already जो existing divides हैं, उसको जो sectarian divide है, we all know, any sensible person knows that India is trying to exploit it. The videos by that major who calls himself Major Gaurav Arya and that other guy who hosts him, the funny chap, but they are trying to target your sectarianism. वो हमने expose कर दिया. Now they're next. They were already working on, trying to create. They're trying to create ill feelings. Trying to create hatred against Pakistan Army. The youth of Pakistan smacked them right in the face and told them that buzz off. That's not going to happen. We love our army. And now you see there is a map of these trolls, and there is an online map of these hashtags they are creating to fight this war, and all of them, 90% plus comes from India. Does that tell you something? You see, Facebook is there's been an international scandal that Facebook is siding Hindutva fascism and BJP government. No news there. You see, we all know that all these online platforms have been compromised already, but still we are fighting and still we are winning. Why? Because of our belief in our cause and because we are always a step ahead. And that's why I'm telling you, March 2021 is far away now, but I'm telling you now, they are launching a campaign against us, and which we need to counter. How? You see, Bangladesh is an Islamic democracy, an Islamic country, and we love them as our brothers. Why? And we support them. Why? Because they're fighting Hindutva fascism. They've got their issues with India, you see. Unka pani ka masla hai. They've got a huge issue. Water crisis, Wula barrage crisis going on. They've got ethnicity issues. Rohingya Muslims ka unka bahut bada grand issue hai. They've got trade disputes. They've got border disputes. You see, the Bangladeshis are not allowed to export anything to India, but India can export anything and everything to Bangladesh. They've got serious issues, and the youth of Bangladesh, mind you, is fighting Hindutva fascism. The youth of Bangladesh is standing up to Hindutva fascism. And the Indians used to complain that till the time it was, you see, Khalda Zia, the ISI was very active in Dhaka, and they used to kill the raw agents and stuff. These were accusations, all of them. But still, you see, Hasina Wajid is there, and the Indians are suffering same kind of losses in Bangladesh. That is an indication that, you see, the people in Bangladesh support us, our point of view, and Bangladeshis are our Muslim brothers, and that is a Muslim country, and that is how we are going to fight back. And that should be your point of view as well. Now, in all this scenario, I've laid out the challenges for the future of Pakistan's future. Most of these Indian campaigns are based upon 1971. Again, 2021, the entire year, they're going to base their campaign on 1971 war. But let me tell you, my grandfather was a prisoner of war. He was commanding his 3rd FF Regiment, 12 FF, with which he remained prisoner of war for 4 years in India. They mistreated him. They really mistreated him. He was 6'2", and they kept him in a cage of 6x6. Now, he was a CEO, commanding officer. 6x6 cage. He was kept in for 9 months, and he had a lifelong issue. they used to give these, glass particles in the bread they used to serve him. So he had internal issues. So he came back in very bad shape, and it was not a single case. With so many other officers that did the same. And then they say that there were 93,000. We've got list of the prisoners. There were 43,000 something prisoners, which included the civilians, which were made prisoner of wars. So, what did India gain from losing all that money, losing all that resources in the so-called war for liberation in Bangladesh? They didn't gain anything. They've got an issue going on with Bangladesh. There's so many issues on multiple levels between India and Bangladesh, and we support Bangladesh in their fight against Hindutva fascism, in the fight against India. And we are standing with them shoulder to shoulder. How? The Chinese are the major stakeholder in Bangladesh now, not the Indians. And through the Chinese, we are standing shoulder to shoulder with Bangladesh, with China in between. You see, that is how we are going to counter that, and that is how we are going to fight back. As far as the domestic security situation is concerned, you should have complete faith in the Pakistani security forces who are laying down their lives, and at the cost of blood. We have defended Pakistan before, and we'll keep on defending Pakistan till the end of times. There is no power on earth which can undo Pakistan, said Qaid Azam, and we are going to honor our Qaid. Make no mistake. Nobody should make any such mistake. And as far as this transition with the Chinese from a partnership to an alliance is concerned, we should mentally prepare ourselves. And there are going to be implications, but it's at the end of the day, it's good news for us. There is, it is. I mean, that is the natural way forward. That is how this thing is going to play. Anybody can foresee that how this thing is going to play. And this is the background of my entire talk. Now I'm open for your questions. I would like to answer any queries you've got, any question you've got. G, please.
सर बहुत शुक्रिया सर, थैंक यू। आपने काफ़ी एक्सप्लेन किया और यूथ को इस चीज़ की बहुत ज़रूरत है कि कुछ अक्सर यूथ है उन्हें पता नहीं है कि फिफ्थ जनरेशन वॉरफेयर क्या है, हाइब्रिड वॉरफेयर क्या है। तो सर यूथ का क्वेश्चन भी है कि सर डिफरेंस बिटवीन फोर्थ एंड फिफ्थ जनरेशन वॉरफेयर, कैन एक्सप्लेन सर?
You see, there is no, अभी फोर्थ तो पुरानी होगी, अभी there is fifth and sixth generation warfare. फोर्थ में देखें, सिर्फ फर्क यह है हाइब्रिड वॉरफेयर के अंदर कि फोर्थ और फिफ्थ और सिक्स्थ में कैपेबिलिटीज एंड इंग्रेडिएंट्स ऑफ दैट वॉरफेयर का फर्क है तो ऑल ऑफ देम हाइब्रिड वॉरफेयर। हाइब्रिड वॉरफेयर ये क्या है कि ओपन वॉर आपने नहीं करनी, क्योंकि न्यूक्लियर वेपन्स हैं, म्यूचुअल एश्योर्ड डिस्ट्रक्शन हो जाएगी। जब सभी खत्म हो जाएंगे तो फिर लड़ना किस चीज का ना, अनलिवेबल हो जाएगी। और पाकिस्तान, इंडिया एंड चाइना, ऑल थ्री न्यूक्लियर पावर्स, any one out of them going for war means that it is going to be a nuclear catastrophe, a mutually assured destruction. So इसलिए hybrid war, fourth, fifth and sixth generation hybrid war के ऊपर आप आ जाते हैं। ये क्या है, आपने ऑल ओपन वॉर करनी नहीं है, लेकिन आपने प्रॉक्सीज के थ्रू, जिस तरह इंडिया दहशतगर्दी करा रहा है पाकिस्तान के अंदर, टीटीपी को लाके, बीएलए को सपोर्ट करके, कहीं पे ओपनली भी कर रहा है, लेकिन दे गॉट प्लॉजिबल डिनाइबिलिटी। they can always say at international forums that no, it's not us, we are not doing it, because they are indirectly supporting. So this is called a proxy war. ग्राउंड पे आपने प्रॉक्सी वॉर चलाई हुई है, पॉलिटिकल लेवल पे आप एक पार्टी को सपोर्ट करते हैं, जिस तरह इंडियन से दैट वी हैव गॉट पॉलिटिकल कैपिटल इन्वेस्टेड ऑन नवाज शरीफ, सो ही स्पीक्स देयर लैंग्वेज। अगेन आप देखें कि वो जब उनकी जुबान की बातचीत करता है तो उनका पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू को तकवीयत मिलती है। Now that is a political level, and the most important level in this fourth, fifth and sixth generation warfare is the media warfare, winning hearts and minds. You see, they've got the potent force of Bollywood, जिसको वो यूज करते हैं, हिडन मैसेजेस उसके अंदर रखते हैं, चाहे उनके गाने हो मशहूर, चाहे उनका मूवीज हो, आप क्योंकि देखते हैं, उनको पता है आप देख रहे हैं, they've got hidden messages in there. So that is hybrid warfare. Now difference from fourth and fifth coming into sixth, ये लेटेस्ट एडिशन हुआ कि जब कोरोना आया ना, ये कोविड-19 की वजह से लॉकडाउन हुआ, पूरी दुनिया बंद हो गई, तो आप इसमें देखें कि ये कहा गया और प्रूफ दिया गया कि यूनाइटेड स्टेट गवर्नमेंट ने वुहान में जो ये मूव किया था कोरोना की, ये रिसर्च चल रही थी ना, इसको जेनेटिकली मॉडिफाई किया जा रहा था कोरोना को. इट वाज बीइंग मेड एज अ बायोलॉजिकल वेपन. Americans knew it, the Chinese knew it, both governments knew it. That's why they say that both governments were on board, but they've got plausible deniability. इसी को हाइब्रिड वॉर कहते हैं कि आपकी डायरेक्ट इन्वॉल्वमेंट कहीं पे नहीं है और आप कहते हैं नहीं हमने तो नहीं किया, आप किसी भी टाइम वो कर सकते हैं. तो इस चक्कर में सिक्स जनरेशन वॉरफेयर की जब आप बात करते हैं, फोर्थ फिफ्थ से अपग्रेड हुई, तो उसमें जो बायोलॉजिकल वेपन्स हैं लाइक कोविड-19, इसका एडिशन हो
Yes,
गया
sir.
हाइब्रिड वॉरफेयर में. आप किसी मुल्क की इकोनॉमी बंद कर सकते हैं, आप किसी मुल्क की इकोनॉमी खोल सकते हैं वहां बीमारी इस किस्म की डाल के. और जो फ्यूचर है, इन द फ्यूचर द स्टेट्स prowess, the state's international stature, and the state's state power would be defined by their healthcare systems, जिसके अंदर पाकिस्तान और इंडिया को खास तौर पे बहुत ज्यादा काम करने की जरूरत है. They are both vulnerable, but at the same time, you see the Pakistani Prime Minister Imran Khan's government employed this smart lockdown policy, because of which Pakistan is the least affected country in COVID. Our economy is now functioning at full pace, whereas at the same time, you see the Western economies are facing a second boom. Our next door neighbor, India, you see, they're completely facing a economic shutdown because of this COVID. And they're in very, very thick soup, and we all know it. I mean, it's public knowledge. Why don't you just Google it and find out what's going on in India? At the same time, here we are in Pakistan, sitting, talking to each other, meeting each other. The economy is going on in full boom. Look at our stock exchange. Of course, the international trading is still restricted, so the economy couldn't gain back the full throttle because the Western economies and the other countries are still facing the lockdown scenario, the COVID scenario. But Pakistan is the success story in COVID as well. So COVID and the diseases like these are part of this now sixth generation. So we have in fact taken a step upwards from fourth and fifth in the sixth generation. Whether it's fourth, fifth, or sixth, it's all hybrid warfare. And hybrid warfare is कि आपने proxy war करनी है, deny responsibility of whatsoever happening, and shape and make global opinions through this media. That is the most important part of this hybrid warfare. देखें पॉपुलेंस जो है, पॉपुलेशन का जो माइंड है उसको बिल्डअप करना. आप इंडिया में देखें, आप इंडिया में मोदी is the most successful prime minister in their entire history. How? Because उन्होंने एक हिंदुत्व फिलॉसफी बेची, एंटी पाकिस्तान, एंटी माइनॉरिटी, एंटी मुस्लिम, बेसिकली ये थ्योरी है, वो उन्होंने बेची. खौफ और नफरत का सौदा बेचा, और इस सौदे को बेचना सबसे ज्यादा आसान है और सबसे ज्यादा लोग इसको बाय करते हैं, क्योंकि यू सी
Yes, sir.
people are desperate, they want to believe in something, and you give them a feeling that okay, all your problems are because of Pakistan, all your problems are because of Muslims, and they'll start believing it, and you will start getting popular. लेकिन एंड में होता ये है कि आप इंडिया की इकोनॉमी अभी देख लें. India's economy is going through the worst phase in decades. The Indian healthcare crisis, जो इस वक्त कोविड की वजह से है, that is one of the worst in the world. You can see it very well. And Indians, whether they acknowledge it or not, these are the facts which they cannot deny. And having said that, I would like to say that आज एक कर्नल प्रवीण सानी हैं, ट्विटर के ऊपर मौजूद हैं, मैंने उनकी रीट्वीट भी की. ही टॉक्स अ लॉट ऑफ सेंस. ये जो हिंदियंस है ना, उनको ये इंडियंस कोई सेंस समझाने की कोशिश तो करते हैं, लेकिन वो सुनते नहीं है, क्योंकि आंखों के ऊपर जो है वो नफरत की पट्टी बंधी हुई है. Peace is the only logical way forward, but Pakistan will only accept peace on equal terms. और कोई रास्ता नहीं है. And Kashmir remains our top priority, but at the same time, Junagadh is also Pakistani rightful claim. The Nawab of Junagadh is still sitting in Karachi, and he says that Junagadh is rightfully Pakistan's territory. So हमारे क्लेम्स हैं, हमने पॉलिटिकल मैप अभी यहाँ पे जो शाया किया, उसमें हमारे जो क्लेम है जूनागढ़, मनवादर और कश्मीर के अंदर और सरक्रीक के अंदर, ये क्लेम सिर्फ ये कागज का टुकड़ा नहीं होता. आप लोगों को पता होना चाहिए, ये इंटरनेशनल स्टेज के ऊपर हमारा क्लेम है, पॉलिटिकल क्लेम है. वी कैन गो टू वॉर फॉर आवर क्लेम्स बिकॉज दीज आर आवर पॉलिटिकल क्लेम्स. Wars are launched justified by these claims. Though this is something very important, but still, you see, peace is the only logical way forward. आप हिंदुस्तान, पाकिस्तान, अफगानिस्तान को देखें, दुनिया की गरीब तरीन पॉपुलेशन इस रीजन में है जिसकी पोटेंशियल पूरी दुनिया से बड़ी है। ये सोने की चिड़िया बोलते थे इंडिया को। हम लोग जब इंडिया का पार्ट थे, ये बोलते थे सोने की चिड़िया क्यों अंग्रेजों ने आके यहाँ पे हुकूमत की, क्यों फॉरेन इन्वेडर्स आते रहे। इसलिए आते रहे कि जो हमारी कैपेबिलिटी और कैपेसिटी है वो दुनिया की सबसे ज्यादा अमीर तरीन रियासतों वाली है। ये जो ग्लोबल पावर्स हैं ये चाहती हैं कि हम आपस में लड़ते रहें, मिलिट्री इंडस्ट्रियल कॉम्प्लेक्स चलता रहे और हम अपनी जो रियल पोटेंशियल है उसको रियलाइज ही ना कर सकें। लेकिन उसको सपोर्ट इंडियंस जो हैं, जो हिंदुत्व का जो कॉन्सेप्ट लेके आए हैं, वो सिर्फ और सिर्फ जो है नफरत का कॉन्सेप्ट है। और ये जो नफरत बेची है, इनके इलेक्शन का मेन पॉइंट ही एंटी पाकिस्तान एजेंडा है। तो उसके बाद आप किस तरह कह सकते हैं कि जी अमन कायम हो सकेगा। हाँ, अलबत्ता अगर अमन कायम हो जाए, if people in India realize that peace is the only logical way forward, and we resolve the Kashmir dispute and we resolve all the other outstanding disputes through peace, and the Indians agree to join this One Belt, One Road initiative of China, and I mean CPEC is the flagship, and they'll link it with CPEC as well. The entire region will be lifted up. Poverty will be finished from this region. But you see, peace doesn't sell, but hate does, and that is what they are doing. We are trying to talk sense into their heads. But you see, if they won't listen to us, then we've got no other option to fight back, and we are fighting back. Yes, we will be taking the next step too. And the next step is that in the hybrid warfare, we will have to support insurgency inside India as well. Indians have got problems. They've got a huge indigenous freedom struggle going on in Kashmir. उसके बारे में आप बहुत ज्यादा सुनते हैं, इंडियन मीडिया उसके ऊपर बहुत चीखता है। क्यों? क्योंकि वहां पे मुसलमान इन्वॉल्व हैं। वेयर एज नॉर्थ ईस्ट के अंदर असल कैजुअलिटीज हो रही हैं इंडियन सिक्योरिटी फोर्सेस की। दिल्ली के हिसाब से देयर आर ह्यूज कैजुअलिटीज इन नॉर्थ ईस्ट। वो आसाम में आप देखें, वो एक चिकन नेक है, उसके पार इंडिया का कोई स्टेट कंट्रोल नहीं है। But the Indian media doesn't talk about that. They brush it into the carpet क्योंकि वहाँ मुसलमान नहीं involved. But those insurgencies just require weapons for their support from the Chinese side, and it can happen anytime. If the Indians are not willing to come to their senses, in fact, Indians are in their senses, the secular Indians and the reasonable Indians are their senses. The Indians are not in their senses. So if they won't come into their senses, then we will bring them to their senses, one way or the other. घी सीधी उंगली से ना निकले तो क्या करते हैं? टेढ़ी करते हैं ना उंगली, तो टेढ़ी तो हम करना हमें आती है जी।
अच्छा सर, जो अभी रिसेंटली FATF की बिल की मंजूरी हुई है और हम देख रहे हैं कि 20 अक्टूबर को इवेंट भी होने जा रहा है FATF का, तो सर इससे हम ये साबित हो सकता है कि इंडिया जो है या कुछ ताकतें जो पाकिस्तान में यूज़ कर रही हैं, पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज को फंडिंग कर रही है और फौज के खिलाफ कर रही है, इश्तियाल अंगेजी बढ़ाने की कोशिश कर रही है।
You see, who accepted FATF? Who accepted to become part of FATF legislation? It was the previous government of N-League. All right, we shouldn't go there. But FATF has been effectively used by India, in fact, and the partners with whom Indians are in strategic alliance with, to control and put Pakistan on a leash and to stop Pakistan from fighting back. That is one aspect of it. And they are still using it, and that is part of their official policy. Having said that, we must also realize that there are problems in Pakistan because of money laundering issues, and the money laundering issues arise out of corruption, rampant corruption, the culture of corruption in last two governments, last complete decade before this present government came into power. तो you see, they took इन्होंने 60 साल हमने अपना कर्जा नहीं लिया, इन्होंने 60 साल जितना कर्जा उठा लिया पाकिस्तान का. That all that money, 50% maybe of that is accountable. 50% of them just went in the air in corruption, and the monies are lying outside, stuck in different bank accounts. And ये Panama papers कहाँ से आए थे? How come there were like so many Pakistanis in it? So you see, we've got an issue, and the issue is money laundering. It is not terror financing. Terror financing अगर issues हैं, तो वो तो इंडिया खुल के कर रहा है. Terror financing through दुबई कर रहा है. उनका alliance है दुबई के साथ. So FATF is a strictly biased organization, which is being used by the Indians and by their Western partners to keep Pakistan on leash. But you see, once we are in alliance with the China, then we won't have to worry about FATF anymore. And if the West still wants to keep working with us, and if they don't want us to push us to, they don't want to push us in the corner, they will have to, you know, reconcile. They will have to be impartial. And so far they are not, and I'm not expecting much change. And I'm expecting that we will be still. I swear, sincerely do hope I am wrong, but they'll keep us in the gray list. They'll not put us in the blacklist because then they know that we've got nothing to lose. So we'll just simply fight back and we'll come out in open and we'll thrash them and we'll smack them. And India cannot survive. You see, 14 guys going into Mumbai and the entire city, got ravaged and rampaged. So what do you think if 14 guys land into each city of India? What will happen? So you see, they're not going to put us in the blacklist, but don't expect them to take us out of the gray list as well, because that is their weapon they're using. But once we will be in an alliance with China, then we won't have to worry about this particular problem anymore. And it is all part of a hybrid warfare. FATF is part of a hybrid warfare, and it is a weapon in the hand of Indians and a weapon of the hand of our Western allies. You see, why even our so-called Muslim Ummah, they are on board with India in this because they don't want Gwadar to develop. If Gwadar develops, there will be a problem with Dubai, and there will be a problem in the Gulf states will have a problem because the major trade will come to Gwadar, and Gwadar, you see, and then we've got our neighbors Iran there, and Iran has got a port which is now under Chinese partnership. China is putting in 600 billion investment into Iran's economy. So we are living in interesting times, and if Joe Biden wins, then expect an attack on Iran and accept the blockage of Malaccan Strait. And China will again have to come back to Pakistan. And in this scenario, a one peace process is very important for us. It is important for the American. That is where interests converge as well. Very interestingly, it is important for us because Afghanistan security is directly related to Pakistan security. And then it is important for China as well because through Wuhan corridor, if you look on the map, we can link up China-Pakistan economic corridor with China 24/7 throughout the year. Right now, in extreme winters because of snow, we are unable to traverse through Khunjra Pass. But if there is peace in Afghanistan, and even if not, we will be able to link up the CPEC year-long route through Wuhan corridor. And that is where things are heading. And that is why a one peace process is very important to us. Ji.
Any questions, Saqib?
I really can't hear you. If anybody could hear him, किसी ने इनकी बात सुनी है, समझ आई है तो मुझे बताएं. I couldn't hear him.
Zubair, आपका क्वेश्चन हो.
So I hope you guys are with me. आप सबको बात समझ आ गई जो मैं आप लोगों को समझाना चाह रहा था. I've given you a historical background. I've given you a historical background. Now you guys, youth of Pakistan, are the most important factor in our fight against our enemies. In our war, this hybrid warfare के अंदर जो हमारी force है ना, जो man power है, वो जितनी important पाकिस्तान आर्मी, पाकिस्तान एयरफोर्स, पाकिस्तान नेवी और हमारी सिविल आर्म फोर्सेस हैं, उतनी ही important हमारे लिए हमारी यूथ है जो कि आप लोग हैं. Keyboard warriors is not no more a taunt. It is no more. Nobody can tell you say कि you're a keyboard warrior. तो ये कोई आपको trolling कर रहा है? नहीं. Keyboard warriors are the most important soldiers of the hybrid warfare. So I would request you all, and I would request whosoever is watching to follow me on Twitter. My Twitter handle is Soldier Speaks @ Soldier Speaks, Major Adil Raja. And then you see उसके ऊपर मैं updates भी करता रहता हूँ, and do follow my live programs and do follow my articles. मेरा last article जो छपा है War Within Indian Establishment, वो आप पढ़ें और आप रियलाइज करेंगे। और अभी इंडिया से आवाजें उठना शुरू हो गई हैं, कोई हफ्ता डेढ़ पहले द नेशन में छपा, उसके बाद से इंडिया में कंफर्मेशन रिपोर्ट्स आना शुरू हो गई कि उनकी जो इस्टेब्लिशमेंट है, मिलिट्री इस्टेब्लिशमेंट खास तौर पे, उनके अंदर बहुत ज्यादा फ्रिक्शन है। जो ऑफिसर्स देखिए, मोदी जो है वो हिंदुत्वा या आरएसएस वाले जो है ना, हिंदुत्वा के रंग में रंगना चाहते हैं इंडियन आर्मी को, लेकिन इंडियन आर्मी में भी बड़े ट्रेडिशनल किस्म की फैमिलीज के, ट्रेडिशनल मिलिट्री फैमिलीज के जो सपूत हैं वो मौजूद है और दलेर लोग हैं। मैं ये देखिए, दुश्मन को अंडर एस्टिमेट नहीं करना चाहिए, दलेर लोग हैं और वो इस वक्त जंग लड़ रहे हैं हिंदुत्वा फाशिज्म के इसके खिलाफ, जिसकी वजह से म्यूटनी लाइक सिचुएशन है इंडियन आर्मी में। हर तीसरे दिन इंडियन आर्मी का एक सोल्जर फ्रेटिसाइड या सुसाइड में अपने आप को या मार लेता है या अपने सीनियर को या जूनियर को ठोक देता है गोली से, सर्विस आर्म से। तो वहां पे बहुत ही एक बड़ा ये इशू चल रहा है। आपको ये देखना चाहिए कि इंडियन आर्मी के अंदर जो इंडियन एस्टैब्लिशमेंट है, ये मेरा आर्टिकल देखिए, वॉर विद इन इंडियन एस्टैब्लिशमेंट, नेशन ने पब्लिश किया फर्स्ट टाइम पे और रीपब्लिश हुआ साउथ एशियन पल्स में, और उसके बाद लंदन इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ साउथ एशिया ने रीपब्लिश किया। आप प्लीज डू रीड दिस आर्टिकल एंड यू विल कम टू नो कि इंडियन आर्मी के अपने अंदर कितने बड़े प्रॉब्लम इंडियन एस्टैब्लिशमेंट में चल रहे हैं। और हम लोग तो समझते हैं कि सिर्फ पाकिस्तान में ही एस्टैब्लिशमेंट है। आप कहते हैं कि चलें वो हुकूमत में नहीं आई उनकी फौज हुकूमत में आए बगैर हुकूमत जब कर रही है, आप देखें आप लोगों को यहाँ पाकिस्तान में कितना रोला मचाता है वो गौरव वारिया उसके साथ बैठ के कि जी पाकिस्तान आर्मी बिजनेसेस कर रही है। आंटी आयशा सदीका ने कितना बड़ा ड्रामाबाजी की उसके ऊपर किताब लिख के। अभी आंटी आयशा सदीका को कहें कि अगली किताब लिखें कि हमसे ज्यादा बिजनेसेस इस वक्त जो है वो हाउसिंग सोसाइटीज इंडियन आर्मी इंडिया में चला रही है। गोल्फ कोर्सेज, हाउसिंग सोसाइटी, कॉर्नर प्लॉट स्कैम्स और बेताशा लोगों का पैसा डूबा है उसके अंदर वेटरन्स भी शामिल है, उनके इसमें उनके मार्टर्स भी शामिल हैं। उनका ये बहुत बड़ा स्कैंडल बना हुआ है और तो हाई कोर्ट लेवल के ऊपर इनके करप्शन केसेस चल रहे हैं। आप बहुत सी गूगल सर्च जो है वो इंडिया ने हटा दी है, अपनी रिपोर्ट्स पुरानी हटा दी हैं, लेकिन आप इसको डीप रिसर्च करेंगे, मुख्तलिफ एंगल्स से आप जाएं, मुख्तलिफ सर्च इंजन पे जाएं तो आपको मिल जाएगा यार, आपको मिल जाएगा, बड़ा क्लियर मिल जाएगा एक एक डिटेल के इंडियन आर्मी किस तरह ये हाउसिंग सोसाइटीज बिजनेसेस रन कर रही है। उसमें हर एक के अंदर घपला है, इनके फ्लैट्स के अंदर घपला है, इनकी हाउसिंग सोसाइटीज में ये प्लॉटिंग कर रहे हैं उनके अंदर घपला है, और ये बहुत बड़े बड़े स्कैंडल्स हैं। पाकिस्तान आर्मी तो अपने ऑफिसर्स की पोस्ट रिटायरमेंट रिहेबिलिटेशन के लिए ये काम करती है और उसके अंदर जो उसके बेनिफिशियरीज हैं वो सिविलियन पॉपुलेशन पाकिस्तान की है। जो इसके बेनिफिशियरीज हैं, आपकी चॉइसेस लोकेशन क्या होती है किसी भी शहर में रहने के लिए? डिफेंस में रहना चाहते हैं ना आप? क्यों रहना चाहते हैं? क्योंकि एक फौज ने अपने जो एक इंस्टीट्यूशन है वो इंस्टीट्यूशनल सिस्टम के तहत एक सोसाइटी डेवलप की है, उसमें आप लोग 90% तो जो है वो सिविलियन पॉपुलेशन आके रह रही है, हमारे भाई रह रहे हैं, बहनें रह रही हैं। इंडिया में देखें ये सारा काम हो रहा है और ढके छुपे हो रहा है और उस पर वो बात ही नहीं करते, और काम कम हो रहा है, करप्शन ज्यादा हो रही है, उसके ऊपर बात ही नहीं करते। तो आप लोगों का काम है कि आप लोग इसके ऊपर भी बात करें। इंडियन आर्मी के अंदर आप देखें हर तीसरे रोज एक सुसाइड फ्रेटिसाइड हो रही है, उसके ऊपर बात करें। उसके अलावा हम कश्मीर पे तो हम सब बात करें और करते रहेंगे, साथ साथ जूनागढ़ के ऊपर भी बात करें, वो भी हमारा राइटफुल क्लेम है, तो इसको हम लेके आगे चलेंगे। So thank you so very much all of you for being here, and it was really my pleasure and honor, and we are looking forward to such sessions in future as well. If there is any question I'll answer it, otherwise I'll beg leave. Ji
सर वो जो आपने भी बात की कि इंडियन एस्टेब्लिशमेंट में इश्यूज चल रहे हैं, वो मैंने कुछ दिन पहले भी सर्च आउट किया, जिसमें खालिस्तान के जो सिख लोग हैं जो आर्मी में जॉब कर रहे हैं, उनके भी हिंदुओं के साथ कुछ क्लैश चल रहे हैं इसी मामले में। आए दिन वो भी किसी न किसी को कत्ल करते रहते हैं।
जी 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 बिल्कुल। और नॉर्थ ईस्ट में इनका जो इशू चल रहा है वो तो ये बताते हैं ना इंडियन मीडिया, क्योंकि वो इंडियन मीडिया की एक्सेस में नहीं, उनको वहां पे इंडियन आर्मी नहीं जा सकती, इंडियन पुलिस नहीं जा सकती, तो ये मीडिया कहाँ पे जाएगा? असल तो मार इनको वहां पड़ी है और वो उसको ब्रश अंडर द कारपेट कर देते हैं और वो बताते ही नहीं है इंडियन मीडिया पे। तो हमसे बहुत ज्यादा फ्रेजाइल सिचुएशन जो है ना, नाजुक हालात जो है, वो इंडिया के अपने हैं, वो हिंदिया के अपने हैं। तो इसलिए उनको अपना घर संभालना चाहिए, नहीं संभालेंगे तो तबाही होगी, because no power on earth can undo Pakistan. But yes, India can be fragmented into pieces, and Balkanization of India is very much a possibility with the way they are going. They will break from within, you'll see the way they are going. And if they don't accept peace as the only logical way forward, then I'm afraid that there will be only trouble for India. जी
थैंक यू वेरी मच सर, आपने हमें बहुत कीमती टाइम दिया। हाफिजा सर को, हाफिजा आपका माइक ऑफ है।
Okay. I want to thank you all for coming. With your continued support, we would never be able to put on events like these. Thank you so much.
Thank you
थैंक यू
so
सर।
much. Thank you so very much. Let me remind you, you are the strength. The youth of Pakistan is the strength, and you are equally important as the soldiers and officers of Pakistan Army. Keep fighting and keep replying. Thank you so very
थैंक यू
much.
सर।
Allah Hafiz.
अल्लाह हाफिज़।
Inshallah.